Hello. It's been a while. We're starting off strong with some boo boo noises. Maybe she'll make an appearance. How have you been? I hope you've been well. The world has been going through it, and I'm sure we all have as well. I know I have been. But I hope you've been doing well and been navigating everything as best as you can. I would like to talk to you today about change because with all that's going on in the world, I feel like I hear people talk about change a lot and that it's hard to deal with. And I am very much so in the same boat. As someone who has constantly gone through changes their entire life, just know if you are feeling pretty overwhelmed with everything going on, whether it be in your personal life or professional life or just everything that's going on in general. Yeah, no, I'm here. You're not alone. I feel like my whole last year, July 31st being the mark of 1 year, I feel like I have been thrown a lot of change, but I've also initiated a lot of the change. And I really feel like this past year has been a year of shedding, a year of pushing forward, trying to be consistent, having pushbacks, feeling like I'm failing or I'm behind, which I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm doing pretty well. I have a wonderful partner. I have a roof over my head. I have a reliable vehicle. I'm working on getting a full-time job. I'm thankful to be alive and to be breathing. Really. The alive part, I'm trying to work on that. I've realized, and the change that I've felt in this last year has definitely made me realize a lot of things and makes me want to live my life a little bit differently. I had the same job. I worked in the same building for like 5.5 years, and then one day it just ceased to exist. And I pivoted pretty well. I went into a different industry, and it was one that I was in before, and I've had experience and whatever. But I was there for like 10 months, and it absolutely just soul crushing. I liked most of the people that I worked with, and the job itself really wasn't bad, but everybody's going through it. Support was sort of lacking, and it got to a point that I was like, well, here's another opportunity of a field that I would much rather be in, and I don't know how much longer I can do this. So I changed. I stepped down, I kept it as a part time, and started something that I was used to. It was the same job title that I had before. Terrible. I didn't have a good time. It started off really strong, and then a month into it, I was like, this is kind of a joke. Most of the people there were pretty nice. Definitely one or two, and that's at every place. But man, it really made me hone into my morals, my core values, and just who I am as a person, I couldn't stand there. I just couldn't. And I'm working on getting that full time right now. Fingers are crossed. I'm trying. My only goal right now is to have enough cash flow to make my bills and get groceries and maybe have a little bit of fun here and there, but I have come to realize that there are things in this world that I want to do and that I want to experience, and just staying in the same place is not going to motivate me to do any of those things. I sometimes get into a rut that I don't realize until like one day I'm tired. I'm exhausted and I don't want to do it anymore. Well, yeah, cuz you've been doing the same thing day in and day out, and this isn't feeding your creativity. This isn't feeding your yearn for life, yearn for living and experiencing things that, my mom didn't get to experience. And so let me just tell you about some of the other changes that I initiated. Before I get like too far into anything, I had the same car for like 7, 8 years. She was great. I paid her off. And then there was something in me that just went, hey, you know what's a really good idea right now? Trading her in for something else. And I didn't trade her in. I sold her to my friend who happened to need a reliable vehicle at that point, and it just sort of worked out. And it was very nice because I got what I wanted, and I could also help out him as well. Some other changes that I didn't necessarily initiate, but it made me just have to make different decisions. I went to the same bank for since I opened my bank account, which I was like 16, so like 12 years I was going to the same bank. And like 2 or 3 months after that my job closed, that bank left. It moved. And we didn't get another one. And so I was like, okay, I have to now find another bank. Cool. Okay. Not a big problem because there's one closer to my house. I just went to the other one because of comfortability. Other thing was going to the same laundromat of all things for the last, I don't know, 5 years. Closed one day. Turned it into slot machines and stuff. Like, okay, now I have to find another place to do my laundry. It just seemed like it was all coming in at the same time. I'm like, this is kind of crazy. It's not necessarily like life or death, but it was just crazy that it was all happening at once. Fast forward, long, complicated story short. Did that make sense? Anyway, to make a long story short, I think that's what I meant to say. I don't know what day it is, man. Over the years, I have lost friendships that I felt like I would have forever. Friendships that, you would go sit outside in their car at 3 o'clock in the morning, watching the stars, just talking about life. Friends like that I have lost. And in those moments, it didn't feel good. In fact, it felt awful, terrible. And it always makes me reflect in on myself and just go over the decisions that I made, the words that I said. And I want to say that I'm a pretty my head's straight on my shoulders. I just want to do what I need to do in this life to be comfortable and to be happy. And I don't want to make anybody upset. I don't want to be confrontational about anything because like I'm chill. I don't get excited about anything. Not I don't get excited about anything, but like I don't get worked up over little things. Like I try to learn from my experiences. I try to become a better person from my mistakes or my shortcomings or, the things that people tell me. And I really do try to take that and work on myself, as we all should. But sometimes energies leave your life. And it's okay to be sad about it. It's okay to be upset about it. But ultimately, it's there for you to learn a lesson, for you to reflect and ask yourself, would things have ended differently? Was there anything that I could have said differently? Did I react appropriately? And I feel like these are the things that are just meant to happen. It's part of getting older, part of growing up. And I truly don't have any ill will towards anybody. Like I've just been trying to learn to leave my comfort zone. Every new change causes me to move in a different direction, and it's kind of uncovered that, I think, getting back to my original point, that all of these changes have initiated like a greater want for change. I'm craving that big move. Like I'm done with the area. I'm done with the people, the places, the things. Not that it doesn't have anything to offer me, because it definitely does. I don't mind a lot of the people. I don't mind the places. I like the convenience of everything that's here. But can't stay in the same place for my entire life. I want to see the world. I want to explore, I want to experience. I need to fulfill these desires that I feel like things and people have just been kind of making me believe that I can't do these things. Like why would I want to do these things? And I think with this last big shedding, I know that sounds kind of gross, but that's what it is. It's just a shedding of old energy, shedding of old. We're just here to spread our wings and fly, I guess. I think like this last big shed of energy is going to allow me to really take flight, to take that first initial step and be like, okay, I feel like I am fully in control of my life and I can make decisions for myself, and I'm not going to be judged by anybody who's in my life. I'm not going to feel like I have to owe anybody anything or be expected to do something that, even though I've maybe said something before about that, like things are just gonna stay the same, you know? I don't want to do that anymore. I want to move forward. I don't want to be the same old person that I have always been. And not that I have been the same old person that I have always been, because I feel like even 5 years ago at this point, like, I was a different type of person and I was entering into whatever this weird phase has been. Now, with this all being said, I feel like once the 1 year mark finally hits, like I'm gonna finally find some stableness in my life. And it's just that really deep feeling inside that this is all, it's just meant to happen. I'm getting so excited that I can't speak. This all has happened. It is all meant to be, because it's been preparing me for whatever's on the other side of this. I think it all kickstarted with one main event. Oh, and I also didn't cover, sorry, backtrack. I also didn't cover two other main, well, yeah, two big things that also changed in my life. Deaths come in threes, and I had 3 deaths in my family. And this also had caused me to believe that, like, something greater, something beyond my own energy is intervening here. And I'm sorry if this sounds crazy, but like, everything that everything that I've experienced in this life has made me who I am today, and has really just shaped my belief system. And I have to talk about it. My great aunt had passed, and nobody in my family had told me, and I was pretty upset about that. And, you know, didn't go to her funeral, whatever. We weren't really that close, but, still made me sad. Okay, well, then maybe a week, 2 weeks later, my great grandmother passed, and she really had a hand in who I am today as well. She really shaped my morals. She was the one who took me to church every Sunday and made sure that I knew the Lord's word. And even though I may not be a participant of that religion at this point in time, I still really took those core values to heart, and I just feel like I took a lot from her, and that was really hard loss. It was sort of like that final death to a past life that has just come to an end. That was the last door. That was the last little bit of that, and now it's just dust in the wind. Fast forward maybe 2 more weeks, maybe 3. My cat, one of my cats, the first one that I got, I just moved out of my grandparents. I was in my first apartment with my friend, and we saved a bunch of cats, kittens, 2 adults, and I think it was 5, 6 little orange ones. Cute. And I decided to keep one. And she was with me until March. I had to put her down. And that really broke me as a person, because it was just like one thing after another. And I was so sad. And, I still get really sad. She was my soul cat. I have Boo Boo, and I love her so much. But definitely, she took a part of my soul that day. And again, to me, seems like that was a signaling of the end of a past life. Anyways, I forget what I was talking about before, but I've had a lot of conversations, a lot of deep conversations in the last couple months. I had an experience last month that I never thought that I would experience. And I did. That really opened up my eyes. Yeah, without saying too much, because I'm still not really ready to talk about it. Things can happen, and they will happen. You just don't know when. And it's really just up to us to live the life that we want and, I don't know, plan accordingly. If you really want something, make the plan, take the steps. I want to do the things that my mom didn't get to do. She didn't get the chance. And here I am. I live maybe an hour away from where I say I technically am from, and like half hour away from where I essentially grew up, spent a lot of my elementary and high school years at. And I just, yeah, craving a bigger, craving a bigger change. And if any of this has resonated with you, I will try to keep you updated with my next changes and what all I feel like I can do now, what all I'm going to work on, and we will get through this together. We will be better humans because of it, and we're not alone. Change is crazy, but it's a part of our experience.